Hello, wider internet. Today we're going to be talking about Rife frequencies, and specifically how do you choose the right Rife frequency. So, what you'll do is you'll start by getting yourself a good database of frequencies. The CAFL list is available online free of charge. You can also get other ones, but that is the one that I mainly use. So, what is a Rife frequency? It is a frequency associated with a particular thing in the body. So, basically, every ailment, every cell in your body has a resonant point, and these resonant points are picked up by a EKG machine, a very sensitive one, and then if you look back, you can see a specific patient's EKG has certain noise in it. Say, let's just say you have 7.83 hertz. So that's a pretty low frequency. It's typically associated with grounding, level headedness, regeneration, healing, but it's also associated with um, enscheskia or agitation. Now, some of you say, how can you have agitation with just that frequency? It's the Earth's frequency. Well, if you have too much of anything, it can be a bad thing, just as much as you can drink too much water and run out of salt. So, in having 7.83 or theta play too long, what you can get is a state of mind where you're stuck in a place where you can't grow any farther. Your thoughts essentially get locked into a grounded state. But after a while, your body wants to say, hey, I want to go up a frequency. So it goes to 20.18 hertz. And then it goes up to 48 and 72 and all these other Schumann frequencies. So I just want to be clear to you, the Schumann frequency set, in my opinion, is only the ones that are derived from the golden ratio, but there are others that you can divide from looking at the harmonic series of music. So the harmonic series is basically how you derive every nice tone in music. Obviously, people will say otherwise, but in general, the rule of thumb is that with this frequency or with this chart, okay, we've been too far on a tangent with harmonics. Still understanding the vastness of harmonics and how it's not just, hey, 2/3 is the rule in engineering. No, it goes way deeper than that. I'll get more into this in later detail. Right now, we're just talking about how a particular frequency can be overrun. Um, and actually, many healing frequencies are also have other diseases associated with them. So I want to take a step back and go to Chinese medicine. So in Chinese medicine or acupuncture, we try to balance the body and all of its mistakes. So if you have, let's say, your kidneys aren't working as well as they should, you'll have buildup in your ankles and your feet of various toxins that shouldn't be there. Let's say you have a kidney that's overworking, or basically in America, if your kidneys are working, they're working pretty well. But let's say you have a heart condition now. In in ancient China, they didn't really have heart conditions because they were walking around a lot. They were drinking a lot of water. Generally, they're very well off in that respect of having a healthy heart. But here and now in America, having a healthy heart is potentially an issue. You could have an arrhythmia. Rife frequencies are not particularly good for treating arrhythmia because the heart is a variable thing and is responding to the body at will. The other thing is you can have plaque buildup or poor blood circulation. So, plaque buildup or high cholesterol, that is something that Rife frequencies can treat, although it is difficult. And this is very analogous to how do you clear a river. the answer is it takes a while, but basically that's what we're doing. I had mentioned blood circulation. So there are several things that go into blood circulation. One being the actual blood vessels there. So in some areas of the body, if you restrict movement in them, or you have muscle tension in them, muscle or blood vessels will not grow properly in that region. They'll get cut off and they won't get used. The other being inflammation, so your body swelling up to try to protect itself, and stress. So your body is able to hold a certain amount of tension that it can then release later on to its own effect. So basically, it can spring out of a state that it doesn't want to be in. So there are essentially 3 avenues of effect where we can treat the heart. And then there's also obviously cancer and other millions of things in these books. But what we're ultimately trying to do is we're trying to balance the human body. And in order to do that, we first need a very accurate list of symptoms. And we also need to apply those frequencies in such a way that we don't over apply. So I think a lot in modern medicine we are over applying certain things. I go look at antibiotic use, or painkillers, or statins, or the list goes on of things that we're overutilizing. But we only do this because they're really good solutions. But if, say, we overlook something like, oh, hey, this person doesn't have a lot of potassium in their diet, and now they want to sweat, that's problematic. But you could treat this with a Gatorade, or you could treat it with any number of things. I'm not really sure where I was going with that, but ultimately we're trying to balance out the body. And that's particularly hard when we start to encounter having, I'd say, 20 things on a particular frequency, and a lot of these being rife frequency, or they're all rife frequencies, but being particularly good for healing. But if you heal one thing, you have to put another thing in detriment. You're always having a trade-off. And trying to find the balance between all these trade-offs is what we're trying to do.